Hello, hello. Welcome for another episode of The Power of Story. Hey, it's your host with the most, your main man, Darren and Palmer. Excited to be with you. I get the honor and the privilege to interview change agents who are making a difference locally and globally. Today, we have on Regeline Sabbat today. My girl, say hello to everyone. I call her GiGi, so we're going to hear GiGi today, but say hello to everybody, GiGi.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome, awesome. So for those who are tuned into this particular podcast, you know how we do it. I get out the way. We hear from the source themselves or those who are making that change. So if you don't mind, Regeline, if you don't mind, share with our audience a little bit about yourself and the evolution to you being on the track that you're on right now. Because so many see the glory, but they don't know your story. So I want you to please go in depth a little bit about the evolution of Regeline Sabbat and how you ended up where you are now and continue to grow and doing what you're doing by making an impact.
Yes, sir. So a little bit about me. My parents came from Haiti around 35 to 40 years ago, and they always instilled in my brothers and I the importance of obtaining an education. And so I did. I went to the University of Central Florida. I obtained my BA in political science, pre-law, and sociology. And then I again pursued a degree in law. And while in law school, I was the SBA president, the Student Bar Association president. I oversaw all the organizations. But little did I know I was being abused at home. And one day my life changed forever. And I almost lost my life, death by strangulation. And that was a big eye opener for me. And my life changed forever. And after that, I remember attending Andy Audate's progression conference in LA. And from there, Andy asked me, will you go on tour with me? And to Texas and California, I said yes. And when I went on tour with Andy, I then went through his Elite Presenters Academy and I became a speaker. I wrote my book. I launched my book just this year in 2020. And I also launched my website and I launched my podcast. And now I'm launching my second book at the end of the year. And I can tell you this, I couldn't have done it without God.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. And I know you gave us somewhat of an overview of that. And I want to dig a little bit deeper, if you don't mind, GiGi, um, because you don't look like what you've been through. And, that's a good thing. But share with our audience, what are some things that you learned through your story or of the events that you went through that are transferable for those who are listening in here? What was a skill or what was a lesson? What was a pillar that you stood on to get you through those difficult times to be able to channel that into a positive impact?
The lesson is to always follow your gut feeling, your instincts, pay attention to those red flags. If you see them, then make sure you nip it in the bud right then and there. You handle it and stay focused in regards to what you're doing, no matter what, no matter how many times you get knocked down, to continue to move forward. And remember, prayer is very important. And I actually have my Bible here. The Bible is my best friend. And I start my day off reading the Bible. I end my day off reading the Bible. And essentially, when we read the Bible, God is speaking to us. God is speaking to us. So we are able to build a relationship with God through his word.
I love that. I love that. So you would say faith plays a big role in the decisions you make and also allowing for you to be able to, uh, overcome the challenges that you faced early on. Would you agree to that, GiGi?
Yes, sir. My faith is everything to me, and my relationship with God is everything to me. And I make sure that I keep God first place in my life.
Okay. And I'm glad that you said that because that's a perfect segue because I want to tap into this. It's one thing to have God as number one in your life or the Godhead, but you have been a person who's been able to implement or practice what you preach when it comes to faith without works is dead. You actually put the work in. So I want you to talk to those who they're believers or they understand the concept of God, but they're not taking action. So what has allowed for you to be able to take action along with your faith?
I will tell you this, that it's all about sitting down and setting clear and measurable goals, because I set a goal to reread the Bible over again. I remember as a kid, I read the Bible, but then I said, you know what? I want to read it again. So years later, here I am, and I made this goal this year, and I did. It didn't take me that long. It only took me a few months. And why? Because I kept track of everything. There's actually a website, sheworkshisway.com. I would advise anyone who's listening today to check it out. And they have a way that you can read the Bible and you can map out phrases and verses to read and things of that nature. And that's what I did. And here I am today. I was able to read the Bible. And also a book that I love is The Rock, the Road, and the Rabbi. It's a very powerful book.
I love that. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into that. So we get the Bible concept, but let's talk about business, because just reading the Bible alone, you had to put some other things in. You're just not going around quoting scriptures all day or whatnot, like somebody who was a Pharisee or Sadducee back in the day. So you're implementing going to events, you joined the program, you got the information for the program, you took advantage of traveling, you got a book done, and also you started a podcast, and you're also working on another project. Okay, so without us saying kumbaya, my Lord, the whole time, you're doing some other things. So just like you created that clear and measurable goals when it came to you reading the Bible, share with us, how were you able to do the things that you're doing also in the marketplace as well, just like you do for us the mission with reading your Bible? What were some of the steps that you took to execute on those goals and the mindset that you have to be able to go to the event for one, invest in yourself to go, invest in yourself when you're on the road, invest in yourself when it comes to the book, and continue to invest in yourself and step out on uncharted territory, uncharted waters or whatnot by you going forward and doing the podcast? What was the mindset and the thought process through that?
I will tell you this, that I'll never forget my mentor saying accelerated progression. And, we go through life thinking, oh, we want to do something, but we don't see that it can be possible. But I will tell you today that it is possible. If you set your mind to it, you can do anything, but you must take action. And so when I set the goal, I said, this is what I want to do, and I can do it. But I really had to expand my mind there. And I was in a place where now it's almost like fitness. When you want to gain muscles, you have to really expand your mind and really make a commitment and be disciplined and say, this is what I want to do. This is how I have to do it. But you get stronger over time. And so that's essentially what the brain was doing, and the mind. I was getting stronger over time, but had I just stopped, then again, just like fitness, you won't gain the muscle to continue to keep going towards your goals. And so that's what I did. I had to stretch my mindset and expand it. I already had that mindset of I can, and the positive mindset, but you have to go further than that, dig deeper within self, say, this is what I want. And you have to make sure to know your why. Your why is everything. If you don't have your why, you have nothing. Know your why.
You know what? You can't get around that. And that is brilliant what you just shared there, GiGi, for as the understanding of the why. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, here comes GiGi and Darren on the woo-woo again. No, we're being honest with you. It's a reason that you see so many people who have accomplished success go back to that why. Because when there are those moments in life where you don't want to get out of bed, you find out that, you know that you're a little bit sore. I'm just using the workout analogy or whatnot. Or it's raining out and you need to do certain things or whatnot to be able to accomplish that goal or take you a step closer or getting 1% better each and every day. It's easy to tell yourself, it's not worth it. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Never mind. But you have to keep in your mind, what is the why? If the why is so you can walk your daughters down the aisle or whatnot and not have a massive heart attack, that's a good reason for you to get out of bed that day, because you got a big enough why that is able to overcome the obstacles that's coming your way. And I heard a guy say this, and this is great. He said, Lord, deliver me from the enemy in me. And so for the most part, we're dealing with the limited beliefs or the thought process or the flesh of our own selves or whatnot. It's not going to get us the results that we're saying that we actually want. So you have to do the things that you need to do with crucifying the flesh, so to speak. I'm speaking Christianese right now, but let's make it layman terms for those out there. You have to be willing to create habits and rid yourself of your bad habits, create healthier habits that align with the vision and the goals that you have. And, you're inspiration, GiGi, by the things that you've been able to accomplish here as well. But please share with us, who inspires GiGi?
God inspires me. And I will share more in depth in regards to how I had to change my mindset more in depth and how I was able to attend these events and how it changed my life. I will go more in depth in that. But ultimately, again, God inspires me. That's who I look up to, and that's who I go to, and I seek that further a deeper relationship with God every day. And again, when I attended those events, I really had to show up for myself. Those events were here in my face. You have the dates, you have the location, you have everything, but you really have to say, okay, you have to have that mindset of, is this where you want to be, where you want to go? So God ultimately knows the plans he has for us. And essentially, you wouldn't have seen it if he didn't want you to be there. You wouldn't have been invited if he didn't want you to be there. So if you got the invitation to be there, show up for yourself. And when you get there, don't just come there for a few minutes or hour or two. The time was set. The time was set. Let's say an event was from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 9 to 5. Then you stay the entire time. I'll tell you this, when I attended those progression conferences, I stayed the entire time. I listened to every speaker and it changed my life. It changed my life. And actually, I have built relationships with each and every one of those speakers to this day. Did I know that that was going to happen? No. But I learn. And you must always have the mindset of a student first and foremost. It doesn't matter how much success you have, always a student.
Ooh, I'm telling you, GiGi is going in. She's going in today. I told y'all we just got to get her to rolling. She's fired up, people. I'm telling you. That's what I love about my girl GiGi. She's giving us value bombs. Did y'all hear that? Bombs coming. It's the bombs over Baghdad. Hey, this is the type of stuff that you need to hear. GiGi is doing it. And for those who are listening, you don't forfeit the opportunity of what God has for you because of your limited beliefs. You will never know if you haven't even looked, if you haven't even tried. How can you know unless you try? And then you'll find out, oh, I didn't realize that I could have did it this way. I didn't realize that I was going to meet that person. And I love the importance of integrity, personal integrity. See, GiGi knew if she stayed for the speakers or not. See, a lot of us are caught up if our colleague or a family member or someone in leadership sees us. But the real truth is your personal integrity. Are you lying to yourself? Are you taking shortcuts with yourself? Your confidence is built by what you do. That's where your confidence, because if you lying to yourself, nobody else might not know that you're lying to yourself, but you know that you're lying to yourself. And so GiGi was able to approach the situation differently because she was, as our good friend Les Brown would say, she was hungry. She was hungry, having a ravenous spirit, had a hunger for growth. And so you have to ask yourself that, am I hungry for the growth? While everybody else is texting, while everybody else is in the hallway, while everybody else went and took a break and went somewhere else and then showed up later on, they're not reaping the harvest. They're not reaping the benefits of those who are doing their due diligence and staying faithful with a few things so they can be made ruler over many. So when you have a hunger like that, people respect you differently because GiGi was able to have an intelligent conversation with the individuals who spoke because she actually listened to them. And you'll find this with people who are having certain levels of success. They have time for people who are actually implementing what they're sharing. A gentleman shared this to me, GiGi. He said he was at a conference in a room of 100,000 and above producers, and he was in a room where they had $1 million and up producers. And one of the individuals who were putting on this conference, one of the guys in the 100,000 room said, "What's the difference between this room and the other room?" And the presenter said, "Oh, that's easy." He said, "The people in the other room, they actually implement what I tell them. And in this room right here with the 100,000 earners and more, they typically find every excuse and every way to not do what I just asked them or told them to do that's going to allow for them to be successful." So that's what I love about the story of GiGi, is that she implements what she hears. It's not complicated. But I see so many people who complicate things, GiGi, because they're not staying true to themselves and they won't go and do. When you heard stuff from Andy and them, you went and did it. When the opportunity came, you didn't find a way not to do it. Most people are saying that they want success, but they find every reason not to do what they know that they're called to do. And that's why they stayed the same. And with that being said, you have an amazing story. You share some of the individuals and the people and how your faith is an inspiration for you. But what is the future of GiGi's story? Because I know you're just getting started. This is just the beginning. This is one of those type of episodes we'll look back and be like, OMG, Darren interviewed her. And wow, she blew up like Octane. I can't believe that's the same woman who's doing this and this and this and that and on Forbes. So please share with us, GiGi, what is the future? What do you have in your heart to do for the world before, you're called home?
I will tell you this, to continue to serve God's people. I was already doing that again before everything happened with the domestic violence. And I haven't even shared with you yet. I was just picking my life back up even after the domestic violence. And I was out with an annual meeting in another state with the company I was working for prior to launching my own. And I was with a group of people. I was taken. I was sexually assaulted. Did I know that was going to happen? No. But this is the thing. Sometimes we can take all the precautions that we want and all the protection we want to protect ourselves, but we never know what can happen to us. But we cannot put the blame on ourselves in regards to what happens to us. But we are in control of what we do after the fact. So I encourage anyone who has gone through that, is going through that, to not blame yourself and to realize that God is with you, Joshua 1:9, and to continue to move forward no matter what. If you have a negative mindset, continue to shift that mindset to a positive mindset and maintain that positive mindset. And again, I will continue to serve God's people. Although I was already doing that prior to, while I was in law school, I'm going to continue to do that now on this new platform He has given me. And I say He has given it to me because He has. Because I will be speaking all over, and I will continue to do that to serve His people. If there's a way that I can help you with what I do with my company, with the motivational programs that I offer, no matter what, or the books that I have my second book titled God First. The first book was titled Walk With Me. Second one, again, is God First, because I want others to understand the importance of having God first place in your life. We wouldn't have all these issues if others understood the importance of putting God first in our lives. And that is why I'm writing that book, to raise awareness in regards to placing God first place in your life. So again, that's my future. I will continue to serve His people and speak all over, and I will continue to write more books.
Awesome. I mean, this is amazing. I didn't know that, but when you bring this up, GiGi, I don't want to skip past this because I feel that someone needs to hear this message. Now, it's easy for you to say, you don't know what I've been through. You don't, okay, what was me? I love what GiGi just brought up. It happened. Unfortunately, it happened. Whatever that situation is for you, if it's foreclosure, if it's bankruptcy, if it's the divorce, if it's something with the child, you didn't get the degree, or you got it and then something else happened, or whatever, the forest fire, whatever it is, sexual abuse, whatever it is, but don't allow it to consume you to the point where you become a victim, where you never recover. GiGi's story is so important to us because she had found a way to make it a positive. Your pain is your product. And I know that messes a lot of us up because we will like to just lay down in the pain forever and not ever get back up and use that as an excuse. But at the end of the day, by you not finally finding a way, whatever you need to take, how long you need to take, I'm not here to tell you that. But if you don't get up, you're doing more harm to yourself than the person who did the heinous act to you. You're doing more harm to yourself by staying in that particular spot. And GiGi, you brought up something that I want to make sure that we go deeper into, is that you found the positive. You found a way to help use your life and your story to restore and free people who are ensnared to their own limited beliefs, or an act that was taken upon them that was evil. I love that because this could be a different story with you, GiGi. The name GiGi could be, it could be somebody making it rain at the strip club with you with the name GiGi, because some of the things that you've been through. Now, that could be a reason why you could be in a local penitentiary or housed in a jail or an institution, or you could be getting back at a halfway house, or you could be on drugs. But here you are dedicating your life to make a positive impact for others. Here you are not finding a reason to blame God. Well, God, as some of us, as soon as we hit a hiccup in the road, first thing we do is throw God out with like throw the baby out with the bathwater, because like we didn't know we was born into a sinful world. But here you are, still glorifying God, still finding the positive, still moving forward. Could you share with us the mental fortitude of how your faith, because I know some of them are saying, where was God when you went through that domestic violence? Where was God when you were taken? Now, I understand and know what God is, but a lot of people, we can't expect for them to have the spiritual maturity. And this is not one of these things where I'm coming to you like somebody who's a preacher or somebody just telling you, oh, you'll understand it by and by. No, it's more to it than that. Okay. But how were you able to keep your mind still on God and still praise God? Because it wasn't God that kidnapped you. It wasn't God that did the domestic violence, even though some people might want to make it that way. But could you share with us how you kept your faith during those trying times?
Yes, of course. I will tell you this, that those gut feelings, the instincts, the red flags, that's God. That's God signs. And that's why I say that's the lesson learned, to pay attention to those signs, because he's with us wherever we go. You just have to pay attention. And again, you can't blame anyone, and not even yourself. You just have to realize and learn from the lesson. Learn from the lesson and move forward. But a lot of people are their own critics, or they're hard on themselves. But you can't be that hard on yourself, because you're going to beat yourself down to your knees and you're going to stay there. How many times are you going to tell yourself you're not good enough? You can't do it. You can't do this. You can't do that. Negative self-talk will not take you anywhere. You have to have that positive self-talk and tell yourself you are worthy. You can do it. You can bounce back. You are good enough. Love yourself first and foremost, no matter what, and keep moving forward. And again, in those times, in those difficult times, I just remember yes, you're praying and you're asking, why is this happening to me? But I shift my mindset. I said, thank you. Thank you. Now I understand what you were trying to tell me. Now I can do what you set me out to do. I understand my purpose for my life because you showed me. Had I not gone through what I went through, I would never have known my purpose. But he ultimately knows the plans he has for us. And as I go back into the Bible, and that's why I had to go back and read it again, because I asked myself, what did I miss here? And so when I read it again, everything just started making even more sense. You dive into the word and you really built that relationship. I built a stronger relationship with God, just reading the word again daily. It doesn't stop there. I still read the Bible. Even though I read it, I still read it daily, because that's what keeps me going. And again, I'm not here to tell people to do this, to do that, but I am here to tell you what worked for me and what helped me. And I'm here to tell you to maintain that positive mindset. That's what also got me through. I could sit here and I can say, oh, well, this didn't happen. This didn't work out. I can't do this. Why did that happen to me? That's not going to do anything. That's not going to help anything. That's not going to work. That's not going to move me forward. That's not going to get me nowhere. I'm going to sit here and just be miserable and say, oh, I can't do anything. But no, when you read the word, you understand that we are God's disciples and he has a purpose for our lives to serve his people. It's not about us. You must come from a place of gratitude in your heart and serve his people.
Yeah, I tell you, you got me fired up over here. I don't know. You got me ready to run some laps or something around here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but you got me fired up on this episode. I mean, this is amazing. This is what change agents are. Here we are with my good friend, GiGi Sabbat. She's in the building today, sharing with us the importance of whatnot of your mindset, getting rid of that self-defeating talk that you have, making sure that you focus on the positive. Find a way to continue to grow. The importance of faith. This is the thing. It's the God factor. These are the things that you're not going to see all the time in a balance sheet. You're not going to see in a company culture all the time. But people are not expressing this, or they're finding ways to weed it out. But you have to understand, when you are faced with these situations that seems insurmountable, whatnot, or a dire situation, these are the things that you need to keep in mind. Get back to your core. Get back to your faith, and you'll start finding other doors opening, because he'll open a door that no man can close, and he will close doors that no man can open. And I want to close it out with this, GiGi, because we live in a time that entitlement is running rampant, where people, especially in America, and I love America, but it's like we have a lot of spoiled brats that something that was meant for good, we've taken advantage of it and just treated it as that I'm entitled. Like I'm entitled just because I'm American. I'm entitled to a 4-bedroom house, 3-car garage, insurance. I need to have all my needs met. You know, whether I do anything or not, whether I work or not, it should be a company. One company should just take care of all my needs because I am American. And that's not the that's not the perspective of the livelihood or the reality for the rest of the world, not even for us in America. So I'm glad that you brought this up of the importance of not staying there, not allowing somebody to limit you, not taking no, you know, that or where you come from as, you know, that is the only thing that you can do. You can rise above your current situation or your circumstance. So I appreciate you for doing the things that you do, and then being a warrior. And some of you who follow you, they'll be able to know. I love that you've been able to stand your ground and be totally transparent in all walks of life, whether it's owning your truth where you could have thought living up to the standards of other people, where they thought that you should be in a law office, but you're not. You're choosing to be who God has called you to be. You could have allowed the situations that happen in life to deter you, but you didn't. You chose to find the positive and glorify God through that. As Hillsong say, with glorious ruin, so to speak. And we all been there with the power and the love of God. Then I also love what you've been able to do with standing your ground, you know, politically and other things as well. Well, you being you. And I thank God for you, sister, for just being you and being a change agent. And for those who are listening out here, notice some of you might hadn't ever heard of GiGi before, but you're hearing about it now. What can you learn from GiGi's story that you can start making change right where you are? You might not get to go to Ecuador. You might not go to the UK, but you can make a difference where you are. You've been planted where you are for a reason. Make a difference. GiGi, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree 100%. I will tell you this, no matter what circumstance you're in, do not let your circumstances define you. I can't express that enough. I share that daily because too many times people are in their circumstance. They're remaining in their circumstance. It's like they're letting it be who they are. That's not who you are. And do not let labels be your ego. A lot of people let labels be their ego and push them to who they are. Don't let people tell you who you are. Know yourself, love yourself, and be yourself daily. Don't change, because ultimately that makes you your authentic self. And again, it doesn't matter where you come from. I'll never forget what my guidance counselor told me in high school. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So I don't care if you've been incarcerated, if you've been on drugs, or no matter what you've been through, if you didn't finish college, it doesn't matter what you went through. Okay. There is still your path in this life for you, that it's still here for you. You just have to continue walking on that path, and don't let others steer you in a different direction, because again, God knows the plans He has for you. Pay attention to the signs and walk on His journey He has for you. No matter what, you are worthy.
Ooh, that's it. That's it. Now, before some of you have to start repenting because you say a few choice words and throw some at the screen, I want to give GiGi the opportunity. Please share, where can they connect with you far as purchasing a copy of the book, or learn from any program or services that you offer, or be able to tune into the wonderful podcast that you have. So if you could share any of that information, we will have it in the show notes. But at this time, could you share it with the people?
Yes, sir. They can find me on my website, Life Service Center of America, LLC.com. They can get a free sample of my book on there as well. And then my podcast is Walk With Me Podcast. So make sure to
Awesome.
check it out and subscribe. And my YouTube, Walk With Me Podcast.
Also, you know, we got breaking news. She is on IG now. So now what's the handle on IG?
at GiGi Sabbat. That's GiGis as in Sam, A, B as in boy, B as in boy, A-T.
Awesome, awesome. Now y'all gotta follow my girl on IG. She followed suit. Someone recommended it to her, so she implemented it, lining up what we was talking about earlier on there, because she wasn't on there. You just have to catch her on LinkedIn or somewhere else, on a prayer call somewhere. But now she's on IG. Can you believe it? Breaking news on the Power Story. GiGi Sabbat is on IG now, people. So y'all make sure that y'all go follow her. Well, GiGi, we grateful. Thank God for you once again, sister. This is God, this is divine for us to be connected the way we connected. We talked about some things off air of some of the mutual friends and people that we know without us even knowing, and we were connected by someone as well, but we know who really put us together. So I look forward to connecting with you and doing work and us expanding the kingdom together, my sister. But I thank you for coming on and being a guest on the Power Story.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me, Darren.
Anytime, anytime. For those who are tuned in and listening to this, remember that if you want change, be the change. Until next time, be blessed and be great.